Oh. Hello, we're just a minute. Maybe.
It's for Susan Wright.
She spoke this morning about something.
Yeah, she did.
That's a bit too high then. So we are just still in the middle of a debate on peacekeeping operation in the Council. And so far, I must say, we are very pleased with what we have heard by almost all members who spoke this morning, of course, all members of the Council and others. So very supporting of the need of strengthening even more the peacekeeping operation. I'd heard many times that the New Horizon non-paper was an excellent basis for further discussion and further strengthening of the peacekeeping operations. So I will not comment the New Horizon paper because you all have it and that has been done, but we are very pleased of huge support. There will be, I understand, another debate beginning of next year, but in between there will be full consultation between us and the member states to agree on a recommendation, hopefully by the end of the year, and to be adopted by General Assembly beginning of next year. So there was so many. The debate is not over because so many countries wanted to intervene, but there is clearly a consensus of the point which shall to be strengthened in peacekeeping operation, broadening the base of the troop contributed countries, and consensus on protection, on how to have better guidance on protection of civilians, on robust peacekeeping, and several issues like that. But I will not comment that because you are fully aware of this.
Ambassador Rice today said that the U.S. was in a position to pay back or pay the UN Peacekeeping Department money that it owes, which is about $2.3 billion. Is that figure the same as what DPKO is expecting to come from the United States, or is there any sort of discrepancy there? And what will be the impact on the peacekeeping budget if the United States, as the biggest contributor, starts paying its money and maybe even on time?
It is an extremely good news that when the Secretary General, Mr. Ban Ki-moon, met President Obama 2 months ago in the White House, President Obama promised that the arrears in case of peacekeeping would be paid. And you are aware that the Congress has adopted less than 3 weeks ago a bill paying the arrears for 2005-2008 with a bill of over $720 million. And today, Ambassador Rice confirmed that also the full bill for 2009, which is the amount, I think it's $2.2 million. We don't have discrepancy on the figures. Will also be paid fully. So that's extremely important, and of course very different from the past. And of course that is very important for the whole peacekeeping operation, because in some countries, because of the arrears of important contributors, financial contributors, some country had a big problem to be reimbursed, and that was a key issue for them to remain in a mission when they couldn't be reimbursed. So that will ease very much our operation. And one more time, we are extremely grateful to the United States for their this new decision, and for their great support that Ambassador Rice today and in the Congress last week expressed in favor of UN peacekeeping operations.
Are there many countries in arrears, or was the United States the only one?
Oh, there are several in arrears, but of course the most significant one was the US. But I hope that will give a good example for all other countries who have arrears.
What can you say about many years ago put a unilateral cap on peacekeeping of 25%? That was unilateral.
Yeah.
So actually the UN number should show a little bit more.
Yeah, but so far the US have lifted this cap, and of course it's why we have no more discrepancy for the figures for 2009 that Ambassador Rice referred to. The bill passed by the Congress, it's public, by the Congress. Yeah, the bill passed was $721 million. But we consider that, I can check exactly the figures, but we consider that paid the arrears that they have from 2005-2008. I don't think we have any problem with the figures. We can on this point we can revert to you in the afternoon if there are still remaining arrears that I don't have in mind.
Oh, but how much do they owe peacekeeping? Because 720 is the total.
Yeah, 721 is the arrears from 2005-2008. I can give you the figures this afternoon to see some remaining piece, but most of it has been paid, have been reimbursed by the U.S. Yes.
Mr. Leroy, what can you say about the failure by the U.S. and other permanent 5 members of the Security Council to actually contribute troops? What message does that send to the countries that do contribute troops? Do you want more from them, and what are you doing in that regard?
I would say first, they already contribute quite a lot financially. So 26% for the US. For the EU member states, it's 40%. So it's already quite a contribution. But it was said also, we said that clearly in our New Horizon non-paper, that it is important that we have to broaden the base of TCCs, and that was said. We understand, of course, that many EU and the US are saying that they are still now overstretched countries like Afghanistan. But I think we have in mind, and we have started the discussion with EU member states and the US to discuss when they will be able to put more numbers as far as troops is concerned in the mission. And I understand it's no more a taboo question. Of course, it will take some time, but it's no more a taboo question at all.
And do you think the U.S. there's some saying that it's going to provide more heavy lift, like air support and even intelligence, satellite intelligence?
That's very clear. The U.S. have said that for the time being, sending troops, contingents, battalions, infantry, it will be a bit early because, of course, there are so many troops still in Iraq and, of course, mostly in Afghanistan. But they said in between, before sending actually infantry battalion, they would ready to support us with, in many cases, so airlifts to contingents, equipment to contingents. So we have to decide with them exactly what list of equipment they could provide to our operation. Yes.
Yesterday, the UK ambassador Soares said that the Rwandan contingent in UNIMID doesn't have its APCs, that they're still in Port Sudan. But some had thought that the U.S. moved the whole contingent to UNIMID. Are you aware of is it true that the 4,000 troops don't have APCs?
No, the troops have been lifted by the U.S. We'll find that. There are still some APCs blocked in Port Sudan. They were blocked in Port Sudan for custom problem. Since the last tripartite meeting, we have a commitment of Sudan to, and that has happened, to unblock the question of the customs for the APCs. So the APCs, to my knowledge, are en route to Darfur.
On the subject of Sudan, when UNIMID was first formed, Sudan had vetoed all non-African troops. Since then, some Asian troops have been allowed in. And then at the same time, you're asking for helicopters and other air support. The Scandinavians whose battalion was turned down offered it, or the United States or Britain, Sudan would probably reject it. They had pilots from those countries.
Now, for the time being, what I understand, of course, the question has to be to the Sudanese government, as you said first. Now, the Thai battalion has been accepted and will come soon in Darfur, and also individual officers from EU countries and other countries are also accepted to work in the mission. And I would say there's some specific equipment. I don't see any specific problem, but we'll have to see case by case, of course, when the case arises.
Just one last question. What do you think? What is the New Horizon non-paper in your current thinking? How does it apply to whether a peacekeeping mission should be sent to Somalia? I mean, what's the new thinking in terms of whether there's a peace to keep and whether there's a political process?
So it was very clear that many countries said, of course, a UN peacekeeping mission shall be sent as an accompaniment of a political strategy, not a substitute to it. And of course, and they said also, we must have the peace to keep. And it's very clear, and we haven't touched that subject this morning, but in several occasions, and you have seen again Ambassador Rice's statement in the Congress recently, and she was very clear, and that's also our thinking. So far, there is no peace to keep for such in Somalia. We're supporting the EU is already there, so we are supporting the AMISOM as much as we can. But in Horizon, we are very clear on that. There are conditions for and there were not only in New Horizon. It was already in the Brahimi report 10 years ago. There are conditions, minimal conditions for the US to succeed, and having some kind of peace to keep or political strategy already in place.
One last question.
Yeah.
The incident in southern Lebanon, the explosion of the weapons cache. there any update on the investigation that?
Yeah, no, the investigation continues. It's not, of course, the result will be public, but so far the investigation is going on. So we are